we're installing LVJ's Upfitted switch kit for the Gen1 Raptor. It's like that, she's in! You're weird. Uh-oh. Ha! Got him! Hey guys, hello, we keep it dirty off-road. When we were looking at doing switch options for the truck, we could have done like a Switch Pros or one of those systems, and it would have probably been a whole lot more compact and smaller, but I'm not a big fan of them. When we did our center console, I needed to add more switches. If you guys know, the Gen1 Raptor only has 4 switches. And I kind of like this style of Upfitted switches because turn them on and off just based on feel alone without taking my eyes off the road. LVJ's kit comes with the same exact panel as a stock one, and it gives you 4 more switches with proper fuses and relays. And for me, I think even though this takes up a whole lot more space, right? If we would have gone with the 8-pod solution, we're probably taking up just around this much space. I like the idea of being able to have control over this and be able to turn these on by feel alone. Typically, this kits get installed here, so you have to do a bunch of trimming there. Now, we're not going to install it there. We're going to install it over here. So in this video, we're going to cover the whole process of how to run the cables and do it in such a way that you're not creating a water hazard, right? So that water's not getting into the cab. We're going to get this all wired up, and I'm going to show you guys how you wire it up here, how to tap the old ones to get these to light up the same way, and we're going to wire everything up. Now, what's cool about the LVJ kit is that it comes with everything you need. It comes with a bracket to install this onto your battery pack. It comes with all the relays. And good job, LVJ, on the logos. It's pretty cool. It comes with the harness to wire it inside the cab. It comes with the ground wire, and it comes with the power wire and all the cables you need to connect your auxiliaries. And they're labeled too. This is very well done. This is very well labeled. It comes with all the relays. You can see the amperage of each one of the relays, 230s, a 15, and a 10. Makes it really easy to upgrade too. So like if you wanted to upgrade your switches so that all of them are 30, you could. You just update the fuse and update the relay to a 30 amps and you're good. The kit also includes all the hardware you need as well as all the taps. It has all the taps and everything you need to tap into all the circuits. So this is a very well put together kit. Now there are kits on Amazon that'll sell you just the upfitter switches and the relay box for much less. I think this kit, I got it from RPG, it was about $400. It's a little pricey. You can get just the upfitter switches and this for I think like $50 or $100 or $75 on Amazon, but it doesn't have the plate. It doesn't have anything wired up the way it needs to be, right? It's not going to have all this wired up and ready to go for you. It's not going to have any of the hardware there. So there's a lot of figuring out you have to do. So I'll give it up to LVJ guys for putting a good kit together. The links and everything are there. Everything is properly treated. Everything is heat shrink. It's a really good kit. So you are paying for their labor to really put this together because it takes time to put something together this nice. This is like a little bit of cable porn the way they put this together. Oh, and before I forget, the kit comes with really good instructions, really good diagrams to make it super easy. So again, another nod to those guys for putting some really good details together. Quick links to the videos. Yeah, just really good detail, guys. Really appreciate all the effort and totally worth it. Make sure you guys reach out to LVJ Motorsports. Oh, and quick disclaimer, this video is not sponsored. We bought this with our own money. It's a really good kit, so my recommendations come from actual using and taking a look at the design. Really solid kit, guys. I highly recommend it. Now, before I can start, I need to do a little bit of cleanup. Now, I was hoping that Bailey would do some of this cleanup for me when he installed the bumper, but he didn't. As you guys can see, I have some connectors just sitting there, dangling. My cabling down here is a mess. Everything is binding. So I have to spend some time cutting all that up, cleaning up all my cabling, because the previous owner had 8 of these on the bumper, plus the XL Pros up top. It was ridiculous overkill, right? When you consider that each one of those is 5.5 amps, that is a lot of power draw. So they had to put everything on a relay to handle that much power. Now, the way I'm going to do this is going to be one switch. That's going to be another switch. The 8-pillar lights are going to be another switch. So I don't have to run a separate relay. So it simplifies my cable substantially. So before I start the installation, I'm going to do some cleanup, get all my cables cleaned up, get everything labeled up so that it makes it easier to wire, get everything figured out as to how it's going to go here because I have a reservoir in the way, so I got to figure that out. LVJ doesn't take into account that some trucks are supercharged and this is where their piece normally goes. So I got to figure that out to make room for all that. I may have to put it over here. I don't know. We have to figure out where it's going to end up going. And then I got to figure out my cabling because now I got to route everything correctly and spread out the power correctly. So it's a big job. I'm not going to bore you guys with every little thing here. So I'm going to time lapse as much as I can, especially with the cable cleanup. And then we'll come back to the actual installation of that kit. I got the majority of the cable pulled out to where I need it. Now I need to start planning how I'm gonna wire this. And for this, I have my book where I wrote how everything is currently wired, and I did modify the coloring because coloring on the truck doesn't match what's actually in the book. So my yellow wire is actually red, green and brown wire is actually just green, my violet and green wire is just purple, violet, and my brown wire is blue for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if they aged right. And this is how I had everything wired up. You need to plan how you're going to wire everything up to see how much the amp draw, right? For example, my main bumper light is going to be about 16.5, so I need to go on one of the 30 amps. My A-pillar light's only about 6 amps, but just for layout, I want those right next to the main bumper light so I can turn them on together. And then I have my KC light bar on the 15, right at the 15, that's about the just under that, and I'm gonna leave that one empty. Chase, I'm gonna put in the back. I'm gonna put my rear chase first, front chase, it's those little KCs right there. Then I'm gonna put the whips on the next one, and I have 2 open slots to change my mind. So make sure you guys plan it all out. If you're gonna do any kind of wiring, plan it out ahead of time so you know where everything's gonna go. The other thing I've done after cleaning up all the mess is identifying what's what, right? So this is my KC light bar, it's my chase, front chase lights, and then this is the center mount lights. A-pillars are right here, so it's good to kind of label everything so you know what you have to connect and where you have to connect it. Definitely cleaning up a lot of mess right here. There was so much mess in here that it was a nightmare. Now I got to start making my connections. Keep in mind too that the connections from the truck don't have much room, so most likely I'm gonna have to like cut a little bit lower just so I can get the right connection in the right spot. Okay, so we're struggling to find a good position for this. This was actually meant to be on that side, right where my reservoir is. I need that reservoir for the supercharger, so I can't move that. I'm thinking we're gonna end up doing it over here. The only challenge we have is I might have to cut this corner off, just to kind of be on the safe side to make sure it doesn't damage this hose right here. And then it also makes my access to the cable super tight down there, so I have to make those cables longer just so that they can reach over there. Not worried about ground. Ground's gonna be long enough, and then hot's gonna be long enough. It's gonna block filling up, which is gonna suck. I think the optimum would be to mount it off of this somehow. There's no real way to do that. The other option I tried is maybe putting it here, maybe cutting out the bracket. Problem is that it's too close to the negative terminal, which that can cause all kinds of issues too. When everything on this is hot and there's no negative in there. We got some figuring out to do. Okay, so I'm not liking how it's looking on the side. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. So we've had to modify ours quite a bit just to make it work where we want it to work. We cut it back, drill 2 holes, cut around the outside just to make sure that it's not going to get snatched into anything. And then the aux cable cables, I went ahead and extended them because where they're going to end up, they're going to end up under that cooler. And then we're going to install it right there. We already have our 2 holes drilled. Got a relay that's going to go underneath it because that relay is needed for the pump that manages the intercooler. If you guys have a stock F-150 without a supercharger, it's not a big deal. We had to trim it back and everything because we have a supercharger, and that's it. Okay, there it is. Battery's installed. I had to move my relay up. That relay's for the supercharger. That's in there. Now I gotta do some cleanup. Hot's already ran here. I gotta run the ground over there, and I gotta run that cable inside the cab, which that's going to be interesting because we have a couple options, right? We could run it the way that one is. That right there is the cable for the radio, which I fucking hate because that means that there's going to be water getting into the cab when we go mudding. Or, see the little grommet? We can use that grommet, and I got some little firewall grommets that'll keep it waterproof. So this is what we're going to end up using to run all the cables into the cab. We did try that grommet up there, but it's super tight. Here's where the truck's main grommet is. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to drill a hole down here. And if I do it here, it'll be protected. It won't have risk getting hit by the tire. The LVJ guys recommend doing a hole here, but I'm not a fan of that because there's no real way to route it over there without damaging the cables, right? You got to route it through the top. I'm not a fan of that. So I'm going to try to do one right there, and hopefully that works. Fingers crossed. I want to be extra careful. We've already kind of looked to see if there was anything there. There's not. So I'm going to have Christian go inside and keep an eye out, make sure that we're not causing any major damage. Yell at me if it's shit. Okay? Okay, after a bitch of a fucking time, finally got it out. Got a nice clean hole. So this right here will fit in there, so I'm not too worried about that. But these are too small, so we're gonna go down to this size right here, and this is what we'll end up clamping down to close it up. So that's what we're gonna do. We need a different knife. That's not a knife. So the good thing about these is you can use them for whatever size you want. So like if you wanted to, you can make this the grommet as opposed to this and do a smaller hole and use that part. Or you can use, like we did, bigger hole, and we're gonna crimp on that to keep it waterproof. There you go. And that's gonna be our grommet. And once we get everything in there, we'll put a zip tie on it and make it waterproof. Just like that, she's in. And then the water will come out right there. Do 2 fingers. One in the pink and... You're weird. I'm not done. It's fine. It's raining. It's not raining. I'm not done. It's not raining. But it is raining. It's not raining. I at least got all these little wet. I got all the exterior wiring done, but I haven't got the interior wiring done. So I have to come back and do that in a week when it stops raining. It's not raining.
Yeah, Dad.
Freaking California weather.
This time.
Stupid California weather.
Calling it a counter rain, huh?
Yeah, I have to.
It's not raining.
The truck's too big to fit in the garage. I mean, like I could fit half the cab in there and that's it. And that's not enough for working inside.
Yeah.
It's back in the part that you're going to.
The wife said back it in to get more of the truck in the garage. So the truck's too big to fit in the garage, right?
Yeah.
So will backing it in help?
Yeah. Just like get rid of the lights. You don't need the lights. You know, I had a solution for you. I had a good solution. You can continue working. Just have Ethan hold the umbrella over you.
Yeah, we should do that.
There's actually a better
The
solution.
green umbrella?
There's a better solution.
The
You
giant
hold the
green
umbrella.
umbrella?
You don't need it.
You hold the
Shut up.
umbrella because
You don't need it.
you fucking owe me.
You already have a radio in your car. That's
You're
better than all the
19.
other cars except for...
Yeah, but my 4 switches in the back don't work yet. That's what this is all about.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Such a baby.
You're a baby.
I'm not a baby.
Most of that is cabling in there. It's a big mess to do cabling. Sucks. All right, we'll finish it though. We'll get it done. So it's been a few days. We're going to get some switches wired up and get everything tested out. So now that we got the cabling up in there, we got to route it all to our center console. The good thing is the kit has plenty of slack. So if you're installing it right there, or you decide to put it maybe up top, wherever you decide to put this little switch panel, which is the second one, there's plenty of slack in the cable that they gave you, so you can do it in multiple places. Now, again, like I told you guys at the beginning, LVJ did a really good job with this kit. The instructions are really good to show you where to tap in to the old switch so that this one lights up and everything. And they go a step further and provide you pictures of how to integrate it into the cubby and pictures of what you're tapping into and how to check the cables and how that should look. So really great instructions. When the guys down at LVJ and the instructions don't help, they also give you QR codes for easy access to their YouTube videos. So again, guys, this is a very well done kit. Highly recommend it. Totally worth the price that these guys put into it, because they did put a lot of work into it to make it easy for you. Let's get this panel out. We're going to need to actually get the majority of these panels out just to feed the cables, but let's get it out. Let's get it going. Now we need to figure out what pinouts to use. Now, notice the note right there that says existing plug rear view. So that means that you have to orient the plug based on the picture, which is like this, right? You got that little ridge right there, like that. Pin 2 is a violet wire that goes to the blue wire. And then pin 8 is like this bluish wire right here, and that goes to the yellow cable that they provided. Now, a quick note on what they give you. They give you these really cool tabs that when you fold them in, it has a little slot, and that little slot works with that connector. So it makes it for a very clean install. Really, again, Appreciate the effort these guys put into the kit. Very well thought out. Okay, there she is. She's tapped. I'm gonna clean up the cabling a little bit, put some taper on this, clear it up, tie it all up, and then test it out. And we finally get to finish after a week because of rain. Okay, everything's all wired up. Hopefully you guys can see the wire job. Everything is in, everything's secured. No errant cables. Now I gotta hook up the battery and test. Fingers crossed. Truck is on. I'm actually gonna turn it on just for safe measure because my battery's low. Okay, now that she's on, and I apologize for the noise, guys, but my battery's almost dead, so I have to do something. First thing I'm gonna do is make sure that the lights work, meaning that I got the same lights turned on here that they do on here, like the backlit illumination. So it's hard to tell because it's too bright. Okay, I did get my sensor blocked off, and it looks like, yep, there they are. See that? They just went blue, and that's important. We want to make sure that that's blue. All right, so next, you gotta test the lights themselves. I wish I had somebody else to help me for this one, but oh well, we got them all of our lights on, so let's go around the truck, make sure everything's on. Okay, those are on. Chase is on. Everything's on. Everything looks like it works. Let's go to the back. Whips are on. Chase is on. We have all of our lights. So this is my whips. Whips is off. Front chase. Front chase is off. Rear chase. Rear chase off. Uh-oh. That one's not working. I gotta figure that out, because that should be working on that switch. Let's see. Switch 4. Nope. All right, so I got one light that's not working. That right there should be the top. Yep, that's off. Finally, front. There she is. Now I'm gonna go ahead and label my switches just so I know where everything's at, and then I gotta troubleshoot why my top one's not working. Okay, and just like that, my switch is wired. Bumper XL80s, A-pillar XL Pros, cab over KCs, my whips, front chase, and rear chase. I got room to spare. Got one on the factory system, one on the LVJ system. Ha! Got him! Ended up being a grounding issue over here. Ah, what a pain. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. Hope this video helped you guys out in looking at another option for upfitter switch. For me, I'm a analog switch guy. I like having analog switches, and with these, I can make the change without having to look down to see what I'm pushing, so I really like that. LVJ puts a really good kit together, so much so that it made us step up our wiring game, and I spent days fixing all my wiring. It was crazy, the ratchetness that they left me from the old owner. So all done. Highly recommend the kit. I think it's very well done, very well thought out, very well put together, and even in situations like mine where it's very unique, it's very easy to modify and get it to run in your setup. So for that reason, we recommend it. I'm gonna put the links below on how to get it. You can get it from RPG, but I recommend getting it from LVJ directly. It was a good kit. So put any questions, comments below. Let us know where we fucked up, because I'm sure we screwed up. I don't like cabling, guys. I suck at cabling, so that's why it took me so long. Now I'm gonna go and put my stuff back together. Well, not completely, because we got a major upgrade coming. You guys saw me run this line. I'm going to be running a full stereo system in my truck next, so make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. Yeah, questions, comments below. Please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.